people that have traumatic stuff. Sometimes it's as simple as their heart was blocked. I've also seen it happen to where people are extremely gifted and earlier on they shut off their gifts. And because they shut off their gifts, they get sick. It's because the gifts, when it's running through them, it fuels them, it heals them. It's like oxygen for the soul. So when you shut it off, when you suppress it, all of a sudden people get physically ill.
Science is now proving what the ancients already knew. The human body is not just physical tissue, it's not a meat bag. And the NIH has documented that we emit an electromagnetic field that extends beyond the skin. What does that mean? This means that your internal state is influencing your outcomes even when you do not realize it. And today's guest, Oliver Nino, is the spiritual activator, and he helps people clear stuck patterns so they stop repeating those cycles in health, in love, in money, and self-worth. And in this episode, you're going to learn how to shift your energetic field so you can stop feeling that resistance and start feeling what it feels like to be in alignment. So if you tried all of the physical interventions for your health and nothing has been working, know that there's a layer beneath that we can access, and Oliver shows you how. Let's get into this. All right, everyone, I have a very, very exciting guest. Look, energy healing has been in the forefront of so much of my interest in the past few years, but especially this year. And we've been having some amazing conversations, but I got the man. When I say I got the man, I got the energy healer, not energy healer, the energy healer on the show, Oliver Nino, spiritual activator. Welcome to the show, my friend.
I am so excited. Thank you for having me.
Man, you're about to share some gifts and wisdom that the audience is going to blow their mind.
I hope.
It's going to blow their mind. All right, we got some rapid fire questions. You ready?
Ready.
Okay. When you hear someone saying move energy, what does that even mean? When someone's moving energy in their body?
They're releasing stuck energy that holds people back.
Okay. And where is that stuck energy? Is it in the body or in the field, or where is it?
All of the above. It can be the field. It can be your energy centers. It can actually be your physical body, organs, down to the cellular level. It can be in a lot of different places.
Okay. How about this? When we are with people who are quote unquote negative or going through something, when we feel drained, is there something going on with the energy?
Yeah. A lot of the times we are drained because they connect to us, or or they drain us of our energy as well. Or at times it's for people that are super sensitive. They feel everything that other people are feeling, and it's just not their nature, and they get affected by it negatively.
What is one daily habit that people are doing that is silently draining their energy?
Daily habit that they're doing?
Yeah, like what's any habit that is destructive to your energy?
Probably when things happen to them, they focus on what's wrong, not what's right or what's going good for them. It's always like the negative, why it's wrong, why is this happening to me? It's just the
victim mentality.
Yeah, the focus on lack or just the negative part of things, not equally the good parts.
I have this one's gonna be a good one for the LA people. Are crystals even real? Do they actually have energetic frequencies? Can they heal?
Crystals have the ability to do that. We also do. I feel like crystals are here to remind us. They're like our training wheels, and if done right, eventually you can do what a crystal can do.
What is the quickest way to access your energy field?
I mean, it's on all the time. It's just a matter if you're conscious of it or not, right? Solitude, being by yourself without anyone around, at times it's the fastest way for us to feel our own authentic energy.
When we are around people who are really enjoy and excited and bright and taking up all this space, and they're just like, wow, I want to be around that person. Is it because we're attracted to their energy field? Do we want to take in some of their energy? What is that?
I mean, I call them projectors. You have people that are energy vampires. You meet them and they walk in the room and they drain the room. Then you have projectors. You have people that walk in the room and they fill the room up. They fuel the room up. So they're projectors.
And can repressed emotions disrupt your energy field?
To a degree. If it's unhealed, some of them get too intense that it can, and some of them you worked enough to where the repressed, but it's not making such a big difference. It depends on what it is.
Amazing. All right, we're off the hot seat. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
Spiritual activator. Okay, look, I remember. Actually, I didn't even tell you this off air because now I'm really remembering. My dad years ago sent me one of your ads, and he said, "You have to get this guy on the podcast." I didn't tell you this, and then we had our mutual friend who came to see you,
Yeah.
and it's like finally the synchronicities here. And I've, like I said, I've been always so interested in the energy field and how it actually translates to physical disease. And you've become a spearheading the energy movement, spearheading the healing with massive groups and courses and celebrity healings, and you have your own space for retreats. It's amazing. I love what you're doing. What happened? You were an entrepreneur
Yeah.
and something got activated in you. How did you go from this entrepreneur guy trained like that to become this spiritual activator?
Oh man, it's a good one. I mean, I would have never guessed this would be my life, because as a spiritual activator, people ask me, what is it, right?
Yeah.
And at first I'm like, how do I even explain it? And I've come to the realization of like, whatever people's biggest blocks are that are holding them back from the life that they want, I'm able to identify it, work on it. So for example, if I look at someone's life, I always see patterns. I'm a big pattern guy. So if I see somebody and like, oh, they're suffering in their health, it's typically not one area. It's health, abundance, purpose, relationships, fill in the blanks, and they feel like they're stuck or they can't experience what they want in that. And to me, I'm looking for that one pattern, that one block that's common in all those areas. So when you work on that one block, it affects everything in life. And it's a massive shift, right? So as a spiritual activator, like that's always the intention. And when I started out, I didn't even know I was an activator. I was in business. I was an entrepreneur. It was a deep wound that I had to heal, because growing up, we had everything and then we lost everything. So for me, I was like, you know what, I want to be successful so I can bring that peace and that just security back to my family, right? So that was the initial goal, and it worked. Successful as an entrepreneur, like had a lot of businesses that I grew, sold, like and I enjoyed that so much, and next thing you know, I was led to this spiritual place called Sedona,
Yeah.
and I didn't plan it. I didn't know it was going to happen. I could have never bet that it was going to happen, but it gave me a spiritual awakening, and it opened up something in me that day that everything changed. Right? I started knowing things, seeing things. Things started coming to me when people were around me. I all of a sudden knew how they were feeling, right? What's wrong with them, what their blocks were, right? And I thought I was just going crazy, but it started off in phases. First, I knew what was going on with them, and the next thing it would come to me what I can do to alleviate that, and it kind of progressed from there. So for me, it was never in my vision board, my dream to do what I'm doing now. I thought I was just gonna, run the business, grow it, and be an entrepreneur for forever. I never knew I was gonna go down the spiritual healing path.
But something inside of you was awakened. We were talking off air about sacred sites possibly awakening DNA.
Yes.
Do you think that that's what happened to you in Sedona?
I think it's a mixture of activating untapped potential, the spiritual gifts that we came here with, as children, but also intention. In that moment in time, I definitely needed healing myself. I was going through, things in the business. I was going through things in the family and relationship, and I felt like my heart was blocked, right? And I felt like I had all these rules and just these programming in my mind that never really served, that caused a lot of pain and unworthiness there, pain, abandonment wounds, right? That ran deep, mother, father wounds that I didn't know back then. I know it now. Back then, I just thought I was just blocked. I didn't know what it was. And I guess when it's time and you are in a sacred space or an environment or with someone who can facilitate it, the energy, then activations can happen, right? Sacred places can be one of them, but I've also seen them happen in just an everyday place with the right environment or person to facilitate it.
Energy can be such an abstract, ambiguous concept for people.
Yeah.
They hear energy, and sometimes there's even a connotation. They just shut down. They go, I don't, this is too woo woo. This is
Yeah.
LA stuff and blah, blah, blah. How do you define energy in the work that you do?
Well, it's interesting because over the last decade, like, we've had like at least 4 million students, right? In 100 different countries. Last year alone, we had about over 200,000 plus people that went through one of our live healing events. I get to see patterns in people, and majority of people that have come, 80% of them are people who don't believe in energy, right? Who have never done anything like it. And they're just going by their life, and somehow the way I explained it, they're like, wow, that makes sense. And the way I explain it is energy is the invisible thing that affects our life, that controls our life. Like, and they've been able to measure this. Thoughts, specific thoughts have energy, right? Negative thoughts, positive thoughts have energy. Emotions have energy. Even specific physical conditions, healthy liver, unhealthy liver, different types of parasites, like they can measure the frequency, the energy of where it resonates, like what it is. We have mechanisms to do that, and it's now quantifiable. And if I look at it, you can look at it from the measurable side of things, but you can look at it from practical experience, to where you walk into a mall or a crowded area, next thing you know, oh my gosh, you feel anxious, and then you look around next to you and someone's anxious. Someone's happy, you feel happy because their energy, you feel it. So you think about somebody randomly, you don't know why, they text you, they call you, next thing you know, email, you bump into them, and you're like, oh, wow, that's kind of random, right? But I'm like, no, it's not. When they thought about you, you probably got the energetic text message and you knew, and then they showed up in your reality. Or times to where you're like, oh, somebody looking at me, you turn around and someone is looking at you, and you can feel them staring in the back of your head because you can feel energy.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I just feel like it's something that whether you believe in it or not, it's present in our daily lives. It's the underlying, thing that drives us. And when we understand it, I feel like it empowers us to another level.
You've taken that understanding and have translated it into these events and the whole business that you built. And my medical mind is going, is there a translation? So have you seen physical health issues, physical manifestations downstream be the effect of energy disruptions upstream?
Yes. Now, a little caveat, like when I go into any session, whether it's a group session or online, I never know what's going to happen. I'm just like, hey, you know what? God, higher power, universe, source, whatever people believe in, please assist me in this clearing, this healing, whatever's for the highest good is going to happen. And I just do the work. And my last, my last events that we did, we actually, last 3 events, we flew in researchers, trauma experts, doctors, neuroscientists, and they were measuring 10 different things in the participants before and after the event. And they would measure things a month afterwards as well. And, we had, EEGs, ECGs, like medical devices, all those different things. And the results are very, I think this is the first podcast where I'm sharing it. But it's very, very preliminary. But one of the results is that 82% of the people in the study had trauma release, right? And I was like, is that low? Is that high? They're like, the highest right. I didn't notice the highest right now for trauma intervention is electroconvulsion therapy, and it's like right around 80 to 83% success rate. So it's benchmarking the same as electroconvulsion therapy. I'm like, what? Right? And it was also in a lot of ways outperforming psychedelics, and when it comes to like PTSD and depression symptoms, and I think it was over 50%. They measured people that had pain, and it was completely resolved after the 5-day healing experience. So pain was one of them, and we have so many. Over 20 years, I've heard it all. I've heard it to where, I've seen it firsthand. Like, and I'm doing an event, and somebody was like, and we have it documented. Someone like, I wasn't able to move. I couldn't walk. Like, I've been in a lot of surgeries, and after an hour healing, they're like, they walk in front of everybody else. And I'm like, it's amazing. I feel blessed every time it happens. I don't expect it, right? I don't even like, to me, it's like whatever happens, happens. But I've seen it happen so many times. It's been documented so many times to where I'm like, something bigger is happening here. And whether it's mental, emotional, physical healing, I can't really take credit. I facilitated, but physical is one of the things that I've seen over and over again to where the impossible becomes inevitable in the right circumstances.
Is that, let's say that person will walk, right?
Yeah.
Is it that their energy field is blocked somewhere in their body? Is disease manifesting from an energy field that is disrupted in certain areas? What is disrupting it? Is that a generational thing? Is it a trauma that happened in the life? Is it a physical issue? Like, what does an energy field look like when it's healthy and it's flowing? One of the things I get asked for most of the time on Instagram, on the DMs, is about sleep. It's for good reason, because most of us need sleep. We need better sleep. And many of us are struggling with our sleep, especially getting quality one. And I used to be right there with you, and I mean it. I was tossing around, turning around. I wouldn't get to bed late at night. I had no sleep ritual, no structure. I would wake up multiple times through the night, and I would wake up feeling exhausted. And I tried a lot. I was on melatonin for a long time. Magnesium helped, but not much more than that. And what would happen is when I would take the melatonin, and I don't know if any of you have ever had this, but you sleep, you get knocked out, and I would have nightmares, like weird nightmares, super vivid. And then I wake up feeling groggy and heavy. I couldn't hit it. I upped the dose. I lowered the dose. I went in between. I tried everything. I even tried to microdose it. And cornbread hemp has been something that has been really, really helpful part of my regimen, especially with the CBD sleep gummies. Honestly, they are something that has completely transformed my sleep routine. It's actually something I look forward to every night, taking these little gummies. I'm a gummy guy. And it immediately caught my attention because it's USDA organic. I would have never tried anything if it wasn't in gummy form and organic. These are melatonin-free CBD gummies. They're made here in America. They have no synthetic sleep aids, no weird chemicals. It is clean, natural ingredients that supports your body rhythms. And I love that they put together the formula in a thoughtful way. They're using full spectrum flowered only hemp extract, and they're combining it with botanicals that are really strong, that will knock you out in the best of ways, like valerian, lavender, and chamomile at therapeutic doses. They're not just thrown together randomly. It's an intentional formula that's going to help you fall asleep and stay asleep through the night, and it works. Me, I'm a sensitive guy, but I've given it to people who are less sensitive, and it really helps them too. I love that they're made with integrity. They're vegan. They're gluten-free. They're made without sugar coating. Like a lot of those gummies are like sparkled in sugar coating, and I don't want to consume all that sugar at night. I want to get clean, natural ingredients that I know I can put in my body every night, especially if I'm going to be doing it every night. It's part of my routine. I want to make sure that it's quality. And so I want you to try it. You basically do it like this. You take it an hour to an hour and a half before bed. Start winding down. You can put on your blue blockers, take the gummy. You can do anything that's going to calm your nervous system. Sometime for me, it's an Epsom salt bath. Sometime for me, I'll go up the street to yin yoga, come back at night, no phones. And then I'll do some gentle breathing that is like long exhalations and short inhalations, long exhalations, calm my body down. And after the breath work, after the gentle breathing, I can feel my body. I'm just like close to being knocked out. I brush my teeth, I get in bed, and I put my eye mask on, and I am out. It's been helpful. I really want you to try this routine. And it's an incredible tool that you have in the form of cornbread hemp. Right now, Cornbread Hemp is offering you 30% off of your order. Just go to cornbreadhemp.com/DRG and use the code DRG at checkout. That is cornbreadhemp.com/DRG. And the code is 30% off of your first order. Try out those sleep gummies. You're going to love them. Let me talk to you something that has been a total game changer in my home, and it's probably not what you think. It is an air purifier, because what we breathe in matters as much as what we eat or drink. And air quality in our homes can be filled from everything from mold spores to pollen to smoke to allergies. And air purifiers are so important. Most of them are going to be in plastic boxes, make a lot of noise. And then I discovered the Jasper. The Jasper was brought to me by my sales team, and they said, this is a fantastic air purifier. And I looked into it, and it was true. I loved it so much that I got the founder on. And what immediately caught my attention is the design. It's so many of the air purifiers are clunky, antiquated looking, 90s looking, and this is sleek, quiet, and powerful. But here's what really got me. It's built with steel, not plastic. So we're talking about machines that are actually built to last. So Jasper handles everything from smoke to mold to pollen, all the allergens that make you feel terrible without you even realizing why. Whether you're dealing with seasonal allergies, live in an area that is susceptible to wildfires or smoke, or just want the cleanest air possible in your home, get this. I am confident that you will love it. It has a lifetime warranty. Yes, lifetime. That tells you everything you need to know about the quality and engineering that goes into these units. Since I've been using my Jasper for about a year now, I have 2 running. One's on the first floor, one's on the second floor. Ooh, I have 3 actually. 1 first floor, second, third floor. And I've noticed cleaner air, better overall sleep, and just an overall sense that my home environment is clean. The air is nice. We tested it. We have people come in and test the air, and they say the air is super clean. Thank you, Jasper. Go to jasper.co/DRG and use the code DRG for $200 off for a limited time. That is JASPR.co/DRG. The code is DRG.
It's you're connected to the highest version of you, and you're able to ground in this reality, and there's really no, you can do that 70 to 80% of the time, right? Or if you have negativity that's happening, your body has enough energy that it can heal itself, because the body heals itself. We know that.
Yeah.
Right? We have self-healing mechanisms. So a lot of it is when it's in tune and connected enough, when the big blocks are removed, then it can do what it's supposed to do. So to me, yeah, like I've seen it to where, yeah, physical manifestation of disease can be from a lot of different things. It can be from environment, from what you ingest, right? What you eat, what you're exposed to, emotions, can be generational, it can be hereditary. And to me, it's like I look at it all the same. The source doesn't really matter to me as much as what the pattern is that's keeping it alive. Because the source is the source. And it comes to a point in time to where even if someone was like, I was bullied growing up, and there was a point in time where I look at that event and I was like, man, that sucks. And that was the traumatic part. And it came a point in time to where that was no longer the thing that was keeping that pattern alive. It was the way I thought and my emotions and my energy that I held on to that was keeping it alive. So there comes a time where the source no longer becomes the problem, but the blocks we have inside that it created is what keeps it alive. So when I've seen people that have traumatic stuff, sometimes it's as simple as their heart was blocked, right? And when their heart was blocked, and it was, instead of having love, it's now carrying resentment and anger and fear, then now it's in a space and state to where they're more vulnerable for things to build, to develop. I've seen that happen. I've also seen it happen to where people are extremely gifted, and earlier on they shut off their gifts, and because they shut off their gifts, they get sick. And I come to believe that it's because the gifts, when it's running through them, it fuels them, it heals them. It's like oxygen for the soul. So when you shut it off, when you suppress it, all of a sudden people get physically ill. I've seen that as well. Right? I've seen that happen to where it's generational. They're carrying, like their great grandparents had it, their grandparents, their parents have it, and now they have it, and they're carrying the weight generationally, and it's a generational block. Therefore, I have to deal with it in a generational block healing manner, right? So there's no one size fits all. I feel like it's very dependent on the person. It may change. I might see 1,000 people that all have generational issues in their heart, and they all have different unique patterns in how it shows. So it's never really, I can see major patterns, but I see them more as individual instances. They're always different. There's always something uniquely different with each person.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is that it's our relationship to the thing that happened. Let's say there was bullying or trauma. Yeah. It's the relationship and those patterns which we create a new relationship to it that persist and create disease states for us.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I would even go as far as to say at times we don't need to know the source, because it's impossible to know the source.
Right.
Because some of the times, it's generational. So if it's generational, and let's say your great grandparent had it, you don't even know when it happened. So you don't have to know what happened to heal it. Because sometimes we're like, I have to know what happened to heal it. No.
Mm-hmm.
If it's generational, there's no way you can know. But if generational is in any way affecting you, then it's going to be a block in your body, and it's stored in your body, and energy doesn't lie. Or gestational. People don't know about this. Like, you're in the womb. Mom goes through something traumatic, right? For some people, not for all, but for some people, that expresses as a block. Or let's say you're growing up and you had this level 10 trauma that you remember, but there was this level 7, level 6, level 3 that were not, it was not big enough for you to remember it. Those things still pile up and affect us. So we might not know what it is. We don't have to when we're doing energy, because if it in any way is affecting your life, and then the energy will be in your body, and as long as you know how to read it and address it, then you can, I feel like you can release it.
Mm. Is there a way for us to have any sense of reading our own energy?
Absolutely. I believe we all have the ability to be our own healers. 100%. It's just a matter of intention. Do you want to? People want to explore it, but I 100% believe everybody can heal themselves. Everybody can be their own healers. And actually, in a lot of ways, that's my goal. My goal is like, hey, when people are like, how do you do it? And I'm like, well, yeah, I can do it, but you should see the thousands of people that I certify that do it or do better things than me, because it's not me. It's a method.
Mm-hmm.
It's a method that came to me that probably, yeah, it came to me and I brought it to this world, but it's probably ancient knowledge that's somewhere in the ethers that I'm supposed to share.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just delivering that to people. And to me, my goal is like, hey, I get so excited when somebody has a success story that they did a healing on someone and they did something that I couldn't do. I'm like, amazing. I want you to take it further than me, because the point is when people step up and realize their full potential and they feel empowered, that's how the world changes.
Yeah.
When every single person, or as much as we can, we discover our light, we discover our gifts, we embrace it the best that we can. When you do that, you wake people up around you. So to me, my goal is like, that to me is success. It's like, okay, how fast can I get somebody to where they're not focused on healing anymore and now they're thriving? And how fast can I get someone to do what I do and more and beyond? To me are the things that are like of great interest to me, because it's what is sustainable.
Yeah, it's sustainable, and it makes major change. Major change. One thing that really stuck out is when you said your gifts, when you're out of alignment with your gifts.
Yep.
When you sort of maybe had them, they got shut down,
Yep.
or they had to abandon them for some reason. Do you know who Anita Morjani is?
I feel like the name's familiar. We probably have spoken in some
Yeah, she went into a
conference. Yeah.
coma, and then she was on her deathbed basically,
Wow.
and she saw her dad who passed away, and all of these other ancestors, and she asked them, well, why do I have this cancer? Why? And they said, you've completely ignored your gifts and purpose. And then then they said, tell this to everyone you speak to. Right. Like this is what's driving your disease. She came back to her gifts, came back to her purpose, felt a reignition. The cancer disappeared. Yeah. She was stage 4 lymphoma. Yeah. I was blown away. So that when you said that, it triggered this memory.
I see it all the time. One unique memory to me was back when we were doing smaller in-person workshops, like, in our retreat center, we had like 30, 40 people there that came, and one individual, he's been in chronic pain for like 18 years, been several surgeries, and he couldn't move his shoulder past a certain range. It's just like, it's been impossible. He has not been able to do it for several years. And we did something, so when I'm doing work, this is multifaceted, right? So it's like, yeah, there's healing work, removing the blocks, but there was also one thing that I did that's more of like spiritual gift activation. How can I jumpstart what you already have that you might have lost connection to? It's already in there. Like, it's not like I'm giving it to you. It's just like, I can see why you lost the connection, how to connect it, and get it to stick as much as possible is the way I look at it. And when he tapped into it, after the session, he just stretched, and all of a sudden, like, he was just shocked. His face has this shocked look because he stretched in a way that passed what he was able to do, and the pain was gone. And to me, when I look at that, I was like, huh, that's interesting. I didn't even do a healing. I did a gift activation, and he stepped into the gift. And because of that, the pain went away.
Yeah.
Because at times, again, if the gift running through you is what fuels you and it's what feeds your energy, then not having it run through you is also what it causes you to feel, it affects all parts of your life, especially the physical health as well.
Mm. I can imagine what happened internally where his whole body was like, oh my God, thank you for, I'm
Mm,
back online.
yeah.
And the pain just changes. It's interesting because to me, then it's the body speaking. And we don't understand the language of the body, but it's
Mm,
speaking to him saying, hey, pain, 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 pain. You're not paying attention. There's
yeah.
something you're not paying attention to.
And the way I look at it is it's almost like a fire alarm. When it goes off, you don't want to smash it and be like, why do I have a fire alarm?
Yeah.
You're like, where's the fire? Let me address it. So when I look at anything in our life, pain in the body, things not happening in life, doors that are closing, you attracting certain types of people, things not happening fast enough. Those to me are all feedback mechanisms like a fire alarm. And you just, I don't know, I've learned this thing of like, what else could this mean? How could this actually be giving me a sign to point me to get me to what I want even faster?
Yeah.
Because all this stuff, it's people are like, I pray, but I don't hear back. It depends, because the language of God, the language of the universe is all around you. It's how you feel. It's what you see. Angel numbers here and there, people around you, frequency wise, what shows up, what becomes like, what goes away. It's like, if you know how to read it, you're going to see signs everywhere, externally and internally. And when you read it, like, okay, got it. You learn the lesson, you act on it, everything changes. So to me, it's super underrated not realizing that signs are everywhere. That's the communication of a higher power or God source. And we just need to know what signs look like, how to interpret them, and of course, listening to them, right?
Mm-hmm. So to be clear for the listeners and viewers about how you work,
Mm,
do you see visually, or do you feel, or
mm.
do you hear, do you sense? What does it look like when you're doing this work?
It's a great question. It's different for everybody. Like a lot of my practitioners is like, some of them they see, and then when they see, it's like a movie, very, very detailed.
Mm.
And when they're explaining it to whoever they're working with, it's like they're crying, like, how did you know? You're so accurate that you knew that was what happened, or that's what was going on when I was a young. For some, it comes to them, or they hear it, they feel it. I'm more of, when I'm walking in the room, before I even do the work, I feel it. It hits me emotionally, a lot of times physically. Someone's in pain, I'm in pain. Right. And I think it's a feedback mechanism. I don't know. Maybe it's built to make me feel empathy for them, so I do the work faster. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But it's there, and I've learned to look at it as, okay, here we go again. Not, at the beginning I was like, man, why is this happening? But now I'm like, all right, at least I know how you're feeling. Got it. Now I can relate. Now let me do my work.
Mhm.
So I can feel things, and when I'm so mine is non-touch, right? So my hands are typically hovering around someone's body around 2 to 3 feet if I'm doing in person, but 95% of my work is actually virtual. When I do stuff, it's like remote, right? But if in person, like, I'm scanning, and I can feel where the blocks are, like heat, or like, ow, pain or
Mm.
pressure. It just pushes to my hand. I can just feel there's something in there that's like, ooh, we gotta clear that. So I'm more that, and as I'm doing the work, I might get information. Ooh, childhood wounds. Ooh, mother wound. Ooh, this one is inadequacy. Got it. Okay, this one, something happened when she was, a teenager. Okay, got it. So to me, it's like little hints, and I just doing the work, doing the work, doing the work, and then yeah, for me, it's like, it's very feel, a little bit of hints. That's about it. And when it's done, I tell people, okay, here's what I worked on. Here's the patterns. Here's the things that came up for me. Well, what's interesting is when I do the work, even if people have the craziest experiences in person, to me, that's only 5% of it. 95% of the results is like the next week or two, because energy moves fast, but everything else moves slow,
Mm.
right? So as far as people falling out of their life that don't belong, opportunities coming in, them feeling good, things coming up to fully heal, that all happens within a week or two,
Mm.
right? Because again, energy on an energetic level, it's like done.
Yeah.
Everything else, I call it lag time.
That's right. That's right. The body has to catch up.
It has to catch up.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then, what if it's reversed? What if the body is in a chronic state of fight or flight? The person has been living in a state of
Mm.
trauma.
Mm.
Will it completely create a space where the energy field is really hard to work on? Like you can't just do it like that. Maybe you need to see them multiple times because their energy field is being a result of their body state.
Mm.
Does that happen?
It depends. When I told you like my first 10 years of healing, I was a closet healer. I was running 3 businesses that I owned, and on the side I was doing all these energy healings, over 10,000 of them for free. A lot of them are one and done. I did it. I never had to see him again, right? Because I look at it as it depends on, and to me that was by design because I was like, gosh, I don't have time to see him over and over and over and over and over again. So rather than ease my way into it, I'm just gonna go like an energetic surgeon, like a surgeon would. I would just go energy surgery and go deep and go to the root. And yeah, it's gonna be intense, but I only have one shot at this, so I'm just gonna go for it and do it. And I warned him it's gonna be intense, but at least it's done,
Mm.
and it works,
Mm.
right? And to me, it depends. And if I have more time, preferably it's gentler, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah.
You can gentler, or I can slow it down.
Yeah.
But it depends on the situation. If I see somebody and I know, okay, they'll be here for 5 days, and got it. I have time. If I'm like, okay, they're gonna be in my life, so I can see them. They live, they're a friend or family member, so I can see them. It's like there's no rush. But when somebody comes to me and they're like one of the guys like came like came to one of my events. He was on his way. He has a video online, and I'll share it with you later. But he was on his way researching how to be euthanized
Wow.
in Europe.
Wow.
That far, nothing has worked, and he said the medical system has failed him, like therapies failed him. And I'm not saying that I believe that's what he said. And after the healing, it is just like he has renewed hope and happiness in
Mm.
life. And to me, it's like I treat everybody that walks in, whether I know their issue or not. A lot of times I don't, because I don't talk to people before I do the healing. I just do the healing and I talk to them afterwards. I treat it with urgency because I never know what those blocks will do if they're not released today.
Mm.
So to me, I treat everything urgent. So I just go all in
Mm.
every time. So yeah, I don't really ease into it.
Mm.
A lot of times people are just like, oh my gosh, that's insane. That's intense. But to me, it's like, you've been dealing with it for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Why would I ease in? Like, another day is so painful. Let me just get it done now. It's going to be painful, but at least let's get to the core.
Mm.
So for me, yeah, I'm very, very fast. Let's go deep. Let's go all in. And let's just, if I can do it, if your body will allow me to do it, I will go as deep as I can. But I also have awareness of like, all right, gosh, I pushed this to the max. I am not going to push any further because I get that ping of like, you pushed it to the max. So
Yeah.
I also have that internal calibration of like, got it. It's too intense. I draw the line here.
Okay. So for the viewers and listeners, what are some signs and symptoms that our energy might be off? Our energy fields are blocked.
One of them is like lack of sleep is one. Some of them are erratic emotions that come throughout the day, like, or you feel like you're at the end of the day you're so drained, right? You're so drained, you have no energy to give. Or if you keep attracting things in your life that you don't like toxic, narcissistic, like men, for example, that
Mm-hmm.
are closed off, or it's a bait and switch. They're nice and then they're mean, right? And they Doctor, what's it, Doctor Jekyll,
Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Hyde, right?
Yeah.
There's that. Or they're bad things always happen to them, or sometimes it's like, my gosh, like I make money and then the bill comes, and then like I have it and then I lose it. So all this like polarity,
Yeah.
at times that happens, and you just feel, a lot of times it's just a feeling that you're meant for more in life, but you're just not experiencing it. It's just not happening for you. You're like, oh, why?
Mm.
And you can't, you know you're blocked, but you just can't put your finger on what it is or why you're blocked, but you are.
Mm.
A lot of times we have a feeling.
Mm. You mentioned earlier about abundance, bringing in money to your
Yeah.
life, which people struggle with doing that period or
Mm.
doing that consistently. And we were talking about energy blocks being like that physical health, the
Yeah.
pain, the disease, or even the mental health, like
Yeah.
hopelessness. But you're saying that it also affects your ability to
Your
receive?
You're gonna not believe it. It's what led me to energy healing in the beginning. I'll tell you a story. So when I was trying to grow my business. I was like 18, 19. Oh my gosh, young, right? And I was stuck at a certain level. And no matter how hard I tried, what I did, worked more, it was just like a little bit of growth, but nothing that I was searching for. And I was very actually I was and I was very skeptical. Also, I was very business minded, very like, logical, skeptical, questioning a lot of things. But I was open minded. And I remember one of my friends I met who was an intuitive was like, I have a friend coming from Australia. He's a healer, right? Maybe you should go see him. He can work on your blocks. And this is my first exposure to
Yeah.
healing. And I was in California then, so okay, I was like, okay, sure, let's do it. So I drove from Orange County to Topanga Canyon. I walked in there, and this is like 04, 05, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And walk in there, and there's this octagon looking house. I walk in, I'm like, this is okay, this is awesome. I walk in, and like this guy greets me, and this is before healers were a thing, right? Wearing all white. And I'm like, oh man, I was like, gosh, am I gonna make it out of here alive? I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen, right? And he had what mala beads, and he had some chanting going on in the background. You can smell, sage, which I've never smelled before. I'm like, my God, what is this? Like this smells terrible. I was just such in a negative space. So I was like, okay, Oliver, just do this. So I sit down there, I'm relaxed, and like, this guy was just like talking and talking, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna do a healing on you. I'm like, sure. So I'm sitting down there, and this guy is just waving, wands at me, crystals here and there, and I was just like, one, I was bored. Second, I was like hungry, and I was so negative in my mind. I'm like, how long is it gonna
Yeah.
take?
Yeah.
I'm not feeling anything. What's even gonna happen? And I was like, okay, Oliver, just be still. So I'm like, okay, be still. I'm sitting down there, and I'm like, oh wow, I think I'm hearing something. I was like, wow, maybe something unblocked because I'm hearing sounds. And I opened my eyes, and the guy was going like, I was like, my God, this guy's making sound effects. I'm like, all right, all right, all right. Ugh. I was like, okay. So I'm like, okay, patience, patience. I closed my eyes again. I'm like, okay, oh, then the next thing you know, a few moments later, I'm like, there you go. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it in my solar plexus. Ooh, this is great. And all it was my stomach made this loud noise because I was so hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So eventually I got out of it, and then at the end he was like, you have blocks, like and your biggest blocks was abundance blocks that came from your dad, and it's unworthiness, and it was in your heart. So I removed it, and so you should experience a windfall of abundance in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Like, I think that was his range, 4 to 6 weeks, like windfall of abundance. I'm like, okay, sure. In my mind, I'm like, wow, I got scammed for two. Like, now
Yeah.
I got not only got this, this healer that makes sound effects, but now he's also a fortune cookie, an Australian fortune cookie. I'm like, wow. So I was just so skeptical in my mind. I didn't really think anything of it. I'm like, you know what, Oliver? I talked to him. I was like, Oliver, at least you tried. Good for you. Now go find some food and drive home. 5 weeks later, this opportunity came. I did not look for it. It fell into my lap. I made more in one day than I did an entire year. And that changed my paradigm. It was like, I think it was the universe dangling carrot of like, because back then I was working on abundance because I had abundance wounds that needed to be healed.
Yeah.
So it was a dangling carrot of like, oh, you want to grow your business? You want to help your family out? You want to retire your mom? All right, here you go. Energy is the way. And that to me was like my introduction to energy. And I thought to myself, I might not understand what it is. I might not even believe it. But if you can do this, then I'm going to go as deep as I can down the rabbit hole because there's obviously something that I've never been taught that I would want to master.
Yeah.
So that was my introduction. It was not health. It wasn't anything but what was relevant to me at that time, which is abundance.
So your relationship to your own abundance, receiving,
Receiving, being worthy of it, receiving
was
it,
blocking it.
was blocking it.
And that was generational.
That was generational.
So people viewing and listening who are having issues making money, bringing in money, that could be a generational piece.
100%. Like you are living something that you never created. But the cool thing about it is if it can be created, it can be released. It doesn't have to keep going, right? But we don't know that. So we identify with it. We think it's their story. We repeat it. We fuel it.
Yeah.
Not knowing that, hey, you know what? We can with the right intention and the right environment, that in the right process, like it can be released.
Yeah. And like you said, there's some things that happen in childhood that we don't even remember,
Yeah.
but it could be comments in relationship to money. It can be arguments in the family in relationship to money.
I'll give you a story. Like one guy, this one blew my mind because have you ever heard of psychosomatic? You probably have, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like when I heard about it first, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's crazy, right? I never really thought like, so this gal came to us, and this is about 2017. One of our events. Back when my wife and I we were doing events together, and I remember she came in there, and she had like late stage breast cancer. She was unhappy in her job, and she was unhappy in her marriage, right? So it's like all areas. And when she walked in, it was like you could just tell it was just somebody who just wore pain, and you just could tell they've been through everything in life, like everything that could possibly happen that's negative that's happened to them, and they wear it, and you just know it by talking to them. You probably have
Yeah,
met
I've
people
seen
like
it.
this.
Yeah.
They don't even have to speak. The way they sigh, the way they breathe, the way they look, you're like, oh wow, you've been through a lot. So she came in there, and turns out, like, we dug, and sometimes you don't need to know the source, but this time we found out, so we were lucky, right? And even if we didn't, we would have cleared energetically. But apparently, when she was 6 or 7, so she grew up in a family that were in a European family where they did not express emotion at all. It was all just like no emotion, and it was generational. So one time she got so excited, she gave her mom a hug. It's like, I love you, whatever, and said as a kid. And her mom made the sound, "Eh,"
Mm-hmm.
like a shriek, and was shocked. That was the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because then what she thought was, wow, my I hurt my mom. My mom is my love is hurtful. Like, I am flawed. And if you think about those thought patterns, what kind of emotions did it create? Sadness, fear, shame, guilt, anger,
Yeah.
self-anger. And then she made a decision of like, I'm gonna shut off my light. I'm gonna close my heart. I'm gonna be in my head.
Yeah.
Right. And it's interesting enough, the correlation, because she came to it. She's like, that's interesting, Oliver. I closed off my heart, and I had breast cancer develop.
Yeah.
That's because of the energy center there. And so she did the work. I did the energy work. She released it. Then shortly after, we heard back from her, you know, in remission after that, right? Left the job that was unsatisfied, it's unsatisfying to her, um, and left the relationship that was abusive, found a better one, and rekindled the relationship with the mom. And she realized, like, maybe, like, the whole time, instead of the mom was scared, mom was shocked because she never experienced unconditional love. So what if instead of hurting her, you freed her?
Mm-hmm.
And that clicked. And to wrap that story up, like a few years ago, her mom passed, but she was not sad at all because they got to rekindle their relationship and build it back up in a way that they've never had because she had that realization. So to me, when I look at blocks, again, that's a little bit of a intense story, and I see it all the time. But to me, when you have a block, it can affect all areas of life.
Yeah.
And when you release that block, it can also affect all areas of life. And I don't know, I'm more about, and I say this openly, I'm very impatient. I'm all about efficiency. So if I can work on one thing and it fixes a
Yeah.
gazillion other things, then life's too short to work on 80 limiting beliefs, 70 traumatic things, which probably triple of that I don't even know about, generational stuff that I don't even know where it comes
Yeah.
from. Like, if I have to do that all my life and I just want to heal, and it's like, it's not a life. And to me, we weren't born broken. So why are we coming here spending our entire life healing?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, let's do it fast. It's just a phase, and let's do what we were born to do, which I feel is what you're doing, is we're giving the gift that we're here to give. And because of that, we thrive and we're happy. But what's the message that you have that the world needs that can only flow through you? That's what we're here to do. And the healing part is just a phase because we just have to get back to who we were before all these things shut off our light. And when we do, then we resume as is,
Absolutely.
you know,
Sharing your gifts, being in
sharing the
your
gifts.
purpose. Absolutely, man. And I love that story. Thank you so much. My mom died of breast cancer years ago,
Mm.
so I was just thinking about
Oh.
relationships like this because it really, really matters.
Mm.
Um, I have one last question for you, and it's about relationships.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing is that not only can you rekindle a relationship when
Mm.
you release a block, but you can also attract a healthier partner,
Yep.
breaking the patterns of like the narcissistic
Yeah.
guy or the woman who's emotionally
Mm.
unavailable. Is it because you open your heart, your field is open, and it's attracting someone else's
Mm.
field? How does that work?
Hmm. I'll tell you my story. The second thing that I worked on. So I was in this my first marriage, right? I remember it was one to where I grew up without any boundaries, and my mom was a fixer. She was the one that in every whenever something happened in their family, they're like, call Marianne. She'll fix it. So she gained her love and connection from her identity of I am gonna fix everybody and help everybody, but you know how that works
Mhm.
to your detriment because you have no boundaries, right? So I picked that up, and my first marriage, it was tough. Like my ex was going through a lot of dark things, and I made it my life mission to heal her. And it was and that's what initially was also one of my motivators to be like, you know what, I'm gonna learn this healing because yes, it helps with abundance, but I can also heal my loved ones. So it became like a driving force that really got me deep into it, and it got to a point where I realized I can't heal her. We're different people. Me being here is dragging both of us down, and at that point we had a 3-year old who's grown now, and I'm like, now it's affecting my kid.
Mhm.
Now here's the thing: with my upbringing, I would have never left because growing up in the Philippines in the Catholic religion, you don't have a divorce. You stick it with people, and you don't abandon people when they need you the most. But in my heart of hearts, I'm like, I gave it my all, and I probably would have gone longer had I not seen it affect my child. So when I saw it affect, I was like, gosh, I'm here healing people or helping them heal. What kind of dad would I be if, because he saw what I was doing, he got stuck in a relationship that was unhappy, and he stayed there, causing him unnecessary pain because he saw dad do it.
Mhm.
So I was like, you know what, I'm going to heal this. So separated, process of getting a divorce, and I went back to Sedona again because it was the place that I had an awakening, and I was like, you know what, God, higher power, like I don't even I'm not even looking for love. I just want to know myself again. I just want to love myself again. I feel like when I looked at the mirror, I didn't recognize who I was. The passions weren't there. I wore so many masks that I was like, isn't me, and I don't know who I am, and I just want to feel myself. I want to be happy. I want to be me. I want to love myself. So I was there. First part, I wrote down. I was called to write down the list of all the people that have ever hurt me,
Mhm.
that have ever caused me pain. I wrote the list down. That night, I burned it, and I was like, you know what? I release the pain that you've caused. I release my attachment. I release everything that's in my heart that these people brought. That's number one. Second, I started like, you know what? If I release, I gotta replace it. So I made this list. Like, not that I'm looking for one right now, but what would an ideal partner be?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me write it down. There's a huge yellow pad of like, she's growth oriented. Like, we're living in purpose together. There's natural attractions of who I am naturally without having to change myself. She's attracted to and vice versa. Like, we're family oriented. Like, I just had a long list of just the wish list, and I kept it, didn't think anything of it. And the last part was like, you know what? I'm gonna date myself. I'm gonna do things that I love. So I started, playing the guitar again, writing songs, went to the theater in Sedona, watched favorite movies, went on a hike, and really just like I was like, I'm just gonna do the things that my soul needs and I love to do just because. And within 2 weeks of doing that, my wife now showed up in my life. I wasn't even looking for her.
Mhm.
And apparently, 2 weeks before she met me, she was in an abusive relationship and, broke out off, kicked him out of the house, got on her knees and prayed to God. And I was like, God, anything, that is in the way of my purpose, that's not for my highest good, please remove it from my life. I'm ready for my next, chapter.
Mhm.
And we found each other. And I feel like it's because we released what was holding us back, and it got us to a vibration. And in that vibration, the healthier thing was available.
Yeah.
And to me, when that happened, I was like, okay, things can change in an instant. We just have to make a decision that that's what we want to do and then act accordingly. But it showed me what was possible and how fast it was, even when you're not looking. Because when you release the blocks, it puts you in a vibration. And in that vibration, anything that's good for you that you've been wanting, that you can even dream of, it's available there and it just finds you because that's the nature of things being available at certain vibrations.
Yes. Yes. I resonate with that.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling that story, man, because it's such a beautiful story
Yeah.
about how you met your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend decided to go on a camper van trip along the Pacific Northwest around Colorado, and she completely broke through her like do this, do this, do this huge list, really so super like in that energy of doing,
Yeah.
and said, I'm just gonna let it flow. I'm gonna date myself. I'm gonna go on this trip. It's
Yeah.
gonna be for me. She met her life partner on the trip. This happened 2 months ago. One of my best friends
Wow.
on the trip.
On the trip.
And she was for years working through wanting to attract her partner and what is she quote unquote doing wrong.
Yeah.
But she came into that vibration that you just said, and it's beautiful. When you were telling that story, I immediately thought about her and I said, that's exactly what happened. So viewers and listeners, look, if you want to attract a partner, listen to it, rewind it again, go back to that story, listen, feel it. Before we wrap up, what's one thing that we as viewers and listeners can really do to start protecting our energy?
Okay, so one that I'm going to teach you is it's a powerful one. It's called energetic shields, right? So I like layering. Layering means one thing will work by itself, but if you layer multiple things together, they work. So one is intention. Intention is really, really powerful and it's very, very underrated. If you think about the power of intention, you have people that are, and prayer is a form of intention, right? So you have people that are in their deathbed, they're sick, a family member prays for them, and then they didn't even know someone was praying for them. So you can't even be placebo because they didn't even know they were being prayed for, and then remission. The doctor's just like, it's a medical miracle. It's intention. It's prayer, right? So you're mixing that with sacred geometry, which has the ability to protect, and then also color. So for example, the way you do it is like setting the intention, like God, higher power, universe, whatever your listeners believe in, please, please assist me in creating the shield to protect me from negative energy. Anything that is not for the highest good, anything that can drain me of my energy and vitality will be kept out of this shield for the highest good of all. And people can play around. I mean, I'm a big fan of like, okay, starting off with different lights first. Like, they're sitting down here, they're trying white light, visualizing it, or just even intending it, filling their entire body up, seeing how that feels for a second. And then they go on, they try gold, they might try purple, different colors. And they're trying to see which one they feel protected in. So you find the color and then set it aside. Next thing you know is you find the sacred geometry that works for you. So I tell them to imagine being in a bubble, like a sphere, right? And then when they're in that sphere, pouring that energy in there that worked for them in that sphere and seeing how they feel sitting in it, and then trying to imagine being in a pyramid, and then with a color and seeing how that works, and then last is being inside like a spiral, like you're inside of it and seeing what works. And then typically there is a combination of like, oh, Oliver, a sphere and gold works for me, or you know what, Oliver, it's the spiral and green works for me. And when they have that, they just do that before they go out. So if they know that typically when they check their email, they get affected. When they meet a certain person, they get affected. When they go to work, they get affected. When they go to a family gathering, they get affected. When they pick up the call from their mom, they get affected. I'm like, takes 30 seconds. Put a shield on so you're not taking anything that you're not supposed to, and see what happens. And if you do it long enough, for like 30 days, what's going to end up happening is you're going to start to realize how much of the things that affect you are truly yours versus external sources. And you can be like, oh gosh, 80% of the things that were dragging me down was two people in one environment. All right, good to know. So it's very liberating when you realize, wow, the things that drain us, they're not a lot. They're isolated to a few things. And when you know what it is, then you can plan around it so you no longer are affected by it.
This is so cool that you said that, man, because intuitively I created a sphere around me and it's blue.
It's blue.
It's so crazy to say. It's like, whoa. Like I just
Mm,
thought blue would be the color that I feel
yeah,
most protected in.
yeah,
It's like navy blue.
yeah,
Uh, but it works. It works.
yeah.
In crowds, I would be in big like convention centers or something.
Mm,
I would feel when I come home anxious and it's something stuck with me.
yeah.
And I know when it doesn't feels like it's mine.
Mm,
I do that. I come back. I'm not exhausted.
mm.
I don't have to eat sugar or something,
Right.
right? Like to bring me back up.
Typically, it's like people sugar, drink wine, eat
Drink
chocolate,
wine.
eat
Yeah.
sweets too,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they do it because it weakens the third eye chakra, so that now your connection to them is not as intense.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people do
So
it.
it's so cool that you said that, man. Everyone, viewers and listeners, try that. It will change your life if you are really empathetic and you can really sense people. It will really, really help. You got a book right there that I'm looking at right there. What's the name of the book?
Do this before bed.
Do This Before Bed. That's such a cool name. Okay, what's that? What's in it? What can we expect?
It's so this one is it's like simple 5 minute practices that people can do before going to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's like whether it's for abundance or for manifesting love or releasing grief or for being able to, astral travel while you go to sleep, right? Or just different things that you can do. And I think bedtime is super underrated because if you think about morning routines, you do the morning routine, you
Yep.
spend a lot of time,
Yeah.
and the next thing you know, maybe you had 5 minutes of peace and then life happens and it gets interrupted.
Yeah.
Before you go to bed, you do this and you have 6 to 8 hours of it running, and it just you get to sit in it. And I don't know. I just feel, again, I'm an efficiency person. I just feel like it's just efficient to do that, right?
Night rituals are underrated. We got to get them going.
Yeah.
Where can we get that book?
Amazon.
Okay,
Do this
amazing.
before bed. It's a purple book. Should I hold it up or
No,
you can
we'll
do
take
it?
a picture
Okay,
on
cool,
the thing.
cool. So this
Uh,
before bed, yeah, it's an Amazon purple book. You won't miss it.
and website offerings. Where can we find more of you, man?
Honestly, probably the best. I would say a lot of my best stuff is for free. So I
Right.
would just say if people have social, it's at Spiritual Activator. All of my best stuff, I try to give it for free. Like, and yeah, and there are other offerings like events, like, that you guys can do, or programs that you'll see that it's available there. But I would suggest, like, check out the free stuff, see how it resonates, and then let it lead you down the path that it leads you.
Amazing stuff, man. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, dude. Like I love the work that you're doing. It's really,
Mm,
really, really what the world needs,
mm,
and you are at the forefront. You've been at it. I'm hoping that the world can catch up
yeah.
in this lifetime, but you're making some really, really big ripples. And I love the evidence-based stuff that you're bringing into energy. I can't wait to see how those studies
I'll
pan out.
send you one later. I
Please.
have some preliminary stuff I can send you.
That's exciting, man. Science brain and me is, I want to read it all. Thanks for coming on the show, my man.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
All
It's
right.
been really fun.